because the red lights come on, they go out, the race is underway for 15 minutes, and it's a good start by Andy Hiley on pole position. Not such a good start there by Anton Landon, who was next to him on the grid. He's been swallowed up and is back down to about 5th position, so it looks like Martin Gambling is going to sweep up into 2nd place there in the number 99 Eclipse. Then you've got the red number 1 Caterham of Neil Turner from the 2nd row of the grid, but Andy Hiley already making a bit of a break, Josh, as they head down towards the left-hander for the first time. That's Craner curves down towards the old hairpin. It is still the Hiley car in the lead. Gambling in 2nd, Landon is 3rd, 4th is Turner. There you've got Paul Collingwood. He's lost a few places as well in the familiar grey Eclipse. There's the number 65 car going through. That's Martin Hayward in his Silver Phoenix. And at the back of the field there, you've got number 26, Alan Robinson, in his Silver Phoenix. Now, up front, we have got Andy Hiley continuing to get away. That is the battle a bit further back down the order towards the back of the field, involving Colin Benham in the CB Phoenix, and he is doing battle with Mickey Scott in the MEV XSR, one of the 5 or 6 cars that we've got in Class C this weekend. Anton Landon now clear of Martin Gambling, so he's got his way up to 2nd place. That probably happened, therefore, at Coppice. Gambling there in 3rd, and in 4th place, it's the number 1 car, which is that of Neil Turner, last year's champion, of course. The cars race in 3 different classes, classes A and B, based on a power-to-weight ratio split, and Class C, as we say, specifically for the MEV X cars in 3 different guises. Here we're watching a battle amongst a couple of the Class B cars, Andrew Hayward and Marcus Roskill, and they're disputing 7th and 8th places at the end of the first lap. And we've had a change for 3rd as well now, so after that good start, Martin Gambling has dropped back down to 4th position, the former low-cost and compact cup racer. He's there in P4 at the moment. Then in 5th place, you've got the number 7 car, that's Stuart Much, in the MEV exit, so he is leading his class just ahead then of Paul Collingwood, who of course started on the 2nd row of the grid and won several races during the course of last season as well. Has been quite a successful driver in recent times in the Freaky Parts Sport Specials Championship. So we're watching them as they head around Coppice Corner for the 2nd time, about to head past the engine room on the back straight as they go over the crest of the hill, then down to the right and left hander at Robert Chicane. Battle on here for 5th place, because Paul Collingwood, number 11 in the Eclipse with the blue roll cage, trying to get up to the inside there of Stuart Much, but he was unable to do so. Stuart Much, the director of Freaky Parts, the championship sponsors. They're heading off now along the Wheatcroft Straight to start lap 3 of this race. And Gambling is going to come under pressure, I think, very shortly from Stuart Much as they head down towards Redgate Corner this time. Much closing the gap all of the time. Collingwood right with them as well. And Collingwood's going to try and get alongside Stuart Much here as they go through the craners. No, he can't quite make that work. So this is the fight for 4th, 5th and 6th positions. Andy Hiley leads by 7 seconds at the end of lap 2 of this race, by the way. Here's the change coming up the inside. Yet Stuart Much does go through now. He's the first Class C car, and he is up into 4th place now. You've got the 2 Eclipses together now in 5th and 6th place. That's Martin Gambling and Paul Collingwood. Up towards McLean's they go for the 3rd time. There you can just see flashing through shot Neil Turner. He's still in 3rd place overall and leading Class B, and Josh Barrett is with me. The cars making their way up So we're watching the cars as they head. Oh, and that's a moment there for someone. A lot of smoke has been created, trying to work out what's happened there down at the chicane. But we've got the 2 Eclipses side by side at the moment. And it is Collingwood that's gone through. So another place lost there by Martin Gambling. Paul Collingwood now up into 5th position as they make their way along straight. But Gambling trying to fight back immediately. He's going to have a look down the inside line into Redgate Corner. Of course, the circuit is damp. That's not going to make things any easier, but it's pretty uniformly damp at the moment. We don't really have a racing line as such in evidence at this stage. Collingwood has put a bit of a daylight between himself and Gambling through Hot Redgate and Hollywood there, hasn't he? I'm wondering if Gambling is not liking these conditions, possibly the car not that well set up for the wet. Maybe he's changed something on the car since qualifying. Of course, it could be the tyres as well that's that could be having an effect here. The cars could be on different tyres, which may have different strengths and weaknesses depending on the conditions. 9.5 minutes of this race left to go. It's number 53, Andy Hiley leading. 64, Anton Landon is in second place. 7.3 seconds adrift now. Third is number 1, Neil Turner. There he is, our Class B leader. Long way out in front within that class in his road-going Caterham. Fourth is number 7, Stuart Mutch. Fifth is number 11, Paul Collingwood. And sixth is number 99. That is Martin Gambling, as the cars make their way down the straight once again. And this time the challenge is on between Paul Collingwood and Stuart Mutch. So this for fourth place now. Looks like Mutch was a little bit later on the brakes there, but Collingwood has slid his way through into fourth place. And now he's going to try and set off in pursuit of Neil Turner, but Turner a long way clear. Not even in that shot. Look, there's about 5.5 seconds between them as they head on to lap number 5 of the race. A reminder that it's a 15-minute race, by the way. We saw in the background one of the cars in the pit lane there. That was the number 21 Auto-Tune Gemini of Paul Barker, who is out of the race by the looks of it. So coming up to half race distance here, Paul Collingwood is putting away now from Mutch. He did a 1:28.422 on the previous lap, which it was his personal best, and a little bit quicker, but only by less than 2/10 than Neil Turner. Here, further back down the field, is the battle for 12th. This is between Colin Benham in the CB Phoenix, number 18, which is bright orange this year, and number 24, Marcus Crook in the Fisher Fury from Lowestoft. And we'll try again to hear from Josh Barrett.
Yeah, we're watching Colin Benham, you said there, Ian, 2013 champion. Sort of times do change in the championship, don't they? Colin's, fourth in Class B at the moment. Running very wide, looking for those wet lines potentially, but as Donington Park has been resurfaced recently, perhaps those wet lines have changed and drivers experimenting with that in this race.
Yeah, absolutely right. There'll be a little bit of that going on, a bit of a voyage of discovery, I'm sure. But McLean's then, that goes that battle for 12th position. Off the circuit goes number 69. That's Gerard O'Donoghue, who was up in the top 10. He's going to lose a position there. I think that's going to be to the car of Warren Vesey. Is it number 78 who's switched over to Class C for this season?
Yeah, that's right. Warren Vesey, who was a front runner in Class B a couple of seasons ago, having his first outing in one of these MEVs, the Mazda MX-5 derivative cars, and good to see therefore an extra out in comparison. And the leader in Class C is off the road. Stuart Mutch, was he a 7 or 8 time champion in this class? He's in the gravel, and he had a big lead, a very, very big lead in Class C, 13 seconds. He didn't necessarily need to push this hard.
Yeah, he was 5th overall as well. There's our race leader. He's into the traffic now. Andy Hiley getting past the serious stalwart, as we have to call him. Nigel Brown, number 10, in his Silver Phaser, who's in 15th position. But yeah, Hiley coming through to complete lap number 6 of this race with 6 minutes and 20 seconds left of the race to go. And he is turning through Redgate Corner now. And there's a sort of rattly, gravelly sound there, but I don't think that's anything to do with Hiley.
I wonder if it was a snatch vehicle heading to where Stuart Mutch went.
Yeah, there was green flags at Hollywood, so that was just yellows at Redgate, so that's probably where we've got Stuart Mutch off, yeah.
There's Anton Landon, new livery on that car this season, so that's pretty striking. It's going well, isn't it? I wonder if he's made some other developments over the winter months. And the battle for third is coming on now. You said about Paul Collingwood going quickly. He's just set a 1:27.4, which is a couple of seconds quicker than Neil Turner, so he's closed in. They are in different classes. Neil Turner, the reigning champion, being caught by Paul Collingwood in his Eclipse.
Yeah, and they're about to head into the old hairpin. Only about 2 car lengths between them here, so the gap has been reduced. It was 6 seconds only about 2 laps ago. So heading up towards Starkey's Bridge, and then once they flick through that, through Schwantz Curve and up to McLean's Corner. But I would think here that Paul Collingwood is going to be in with a chance of an outright podium position here. Turning their way through McLean's. Hiley and Landon in the top 2 places at the moment. Here we are at Coppice. They've got the back marker ahead of them as well, which always makes life a bit more interesting, Josh.
Yeah, Collingwood's Eclipse powered by a Honda engine, I think, unlike the others. So he's made his own modifications to this machine, and it's going to be quicker than the Class B car on a straight line. So he pulls up alongside Neil Turner and takes 3rd position. I don't think Neil will be too concerned about that, because it's about 20 seconds, I think, or so ahead of his class rivals, which is his main aim, is to beat them, which he did more often than not last year when he took something like 9 class wins.
Anton Landon's had a big off down the Craner curves, that is, and he's managed to come to a halt without getting near the gravel or the barriers, so that's very fortunate for him. Yellow flag still there at Redgate Corner. They can see where Landon has gone off, and he's going to, well...
Is he going to get back?
Well, the grass is so wet, of course, with all the rain. Wet is 6 months on record. It might not be that easy. He's heading backwards onto the circuit. But Anton Landon's thrown 2nd place away. Then we've just seen Collingwood go through. So he now goes to 2nd. And Neil Turner up to 3rd place, as Landon is going to recover the circuit, having lost several positions. So that was an exciting moment that he could have done without.
Yeah, a real shame for him, because he was going so well. There's Hiley, who now leads by half a minute over Paul Collingwood. I think Andy Hiley in his 44th season of racing, super experienced, and he's won the championship overall 3 times recently, 2019, 2020, 2021. And he accelerates across the line to complete 8 laps with 3.5 minutes to go. So be another 3 laps.
Yeah, it should be an 11-lap race then for Andy Hiley, who's been untroubled really during the course of this race in the Chronos. Hugely successful in kit cars and sports specials down the years.
He's just put a lap on Simon Dodd, who we welcome to the Sports Specials Championship, making his racing debut today in a Formula 27, a car you don't see out too often, a car from 1987. So we welcome him to the 750 Motor Club. A number of drivers making their debut today. Yeah,
proper kit car, the Formula 27, sort of 7 style machine. And we've got these 2 MEVs here now ahead of him, and they are running consecutively. So is that Vesey and O'Donoghue, I think, the 2 cars ahead of him now. They're 9th and 10th overall, and they are, I think, 2nd and 3rd within the class. Mickey Scott having taken the lead of Class C for the MEVs after the demise of Stuart Mudge into the gravel at Redgate a little earlier.
Yeah, Mickey Scott picked up a couple of class wins last season. Looks like he's going to start his championship campaign in a good way. As you say, Andy Hiley putting a lap on these cars. So once he passes Warren Vesey, who looks like he might be in Sylvia Much's car by the looks of things for this weekend, or the car that she's raced in the past. She's not out on track today. So Hiley's lapped everybody up to 8th. Mickey Scott about 10 seconds up the road, as you were saying, the class leader. Although on that lap he was about 3 seconds slower than the battle between Warren Vesey and Gerard O'Donoghue, who we take a look at now. There's O'Donoghue, the airline pilot from Northamptonshire, in the ex-Kevin Dengate car.
So we've got a minute and a half left to go. Just for context, best lap of the race for Andy Hiley, a 1:23.539 lap record for these cars in the dry, a 1:14.32. So about 9 seconds off the lap record, which was set by Andy Hiley himself just under 3 years ago.
Anton Landon did get back going in 4th. He lost about 45 seconds in that moment. There's Mickey Scott, the Class C leader, in 8th position. So he powers his way up towards Coppice Corner.
And Anton Landon has done a good lap, and it's not the fastest lap of the race, as it says on screen there, because Hiley, with a 1:23.539, has done the best lap of the race so far. Landon lapping in the 1:25s. He's back into the 1:25s after that off as well.
Is Mickey Scott's car okay, the Class C leader? He may have just been stepping aside for the overall leader there. Andy Hiley, who's about to start the final lap of the race. Mickey Scott, who did lose a few seconds on the previous lap. He was 6 seconds off his best lap on the previous tour, and on this lap he's even slower. He's on a 1:38. So will he be able to hang on to win the class?
Yeah, well, we'll keep an eye on that. As you say, Hiley is now on the last lap. We saw the last lap board go out from the pit wall.
Both Vesey and O'Donoghue just did their personal best laps, 5 seconds quicker than Mickey Scott, and the gap is 5 seconds.
We'll try and keep an eye on that Class C battle then. That's probably the key point of this race now as we go into the very closing stages of it. It looks like Hiley is going to win overall and in Class A. It looks like Neil Turner in the Caterham is going to comfortably win Class B as well. He's about 26 seconds clear of Andrew Hayward, who is second in Class B at the moment in the number 27 Silver Clubman. But Hiley making his way through Schwant's Curve now, climbing up the hill towards McLean's, the right-hander, and successfully negotiates that. Then another climb up the hill towards Coppice, double apex right-hander, and then it's the blast down to the Robert chicane to end the lap and end the race in the case of Andy Hiley. It'll be a successful start to the season in the FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship for him. 2 races today for these cars, then Thruxton, Snetterton, Cadwell, Silverstone and Mallory to complete the 12 rounds that the Sports Specials will have this season. But Andy Hiley is out of the chicane now, and he's coming through to receive the checkered flag, and it's a winning start to the season. But what's happening in Class C, we could just see in the background, Josh.
Yeah, a couple of cars were side by side. That's for second at worst between Gerard O'Donoghue, who gets ahead of Warren Vesey. Is Mickey Scott still ahead? Yes, he is. So Mickey Scott wins Class C. He's delighted with that, so perhaps it wasn't a problem. He was just pacing himself, and then for second place in the class, a gap just 1900ths of a second. A good battle where Gerard O'Donoghue reclaims that position after that off he had at Coppice halfway through the race.
And Neil Turner, I think, is just heading, yes, in the background. You can see he's got Anton Landon right behind him now. So for this, he's actually for position. It's for third overall. It's a podium place. Landon later on the brakes into the chicane, and he goes through. So after the off, it's going to be Paul Collingwood second. There he is. Anton Landon third, and Neil Turner pipped to fourth place, but it's no matter because points are scored within the classes, and Neil Turner wins Class B in this opening round of the FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship. And then it should be Martin Gambling, I think, coming through in 5th place in the Red Eclipse. I think he's just ahead of this group, actually. There he is. Yep, up towards the checkered flag he comes. And then 6th, has that changed? No, I don't think it has. There's some lap traffic in amongst there as well. But Andrew Hayward does indeed now complete the top 6. And I think that's just about, just Alan Robinson in the background to come through. And then everybody is home, Josh.
Yes, that was a similar story to the previous Sports Specials race we had about 6 months ago in the wet when Andy Hiley won by a long, long way. I think it was about a minute at Silverstone, not quite that far this time, but it would have been a much smaller gap, of course, if Anton Landon had not spun. And he had good pace. When we said he lost about 3/4 of a minute in that spin, and he actually only finished 47 seconds behind. So let's take a look at that full result.
Yeah, so 11 laps completed by Andy Hiley in the number 53 Kronos, and he was indeed 41.3 seconds clear of the eventual second place man, number 11, Paul Collingwood, in his Eclipse. Completing the top 3, a clean sweep for the podium for Class A drivers, number 64, Anton Landon in the Sienna Mark II. 4th was Class B winner, number 1, Neil Turner, from 5th, number 99, Martin Gambling. Completing the Class B podium, 27, Andrew Hayward in 6th, and 44, Marcus Roskell in 7th. In 8th place, winning Class C, was Mickey Scott, ahead of classmates Gerard O'Donoghue in 69 and Warren Vesey in number 78. Then there was Nigel Brown, 11th. Marcus Crook was, Colin Benham 12th, Stuart Crook 13th, Martin Hayward 14th. In 15th place was the car of number 9, Neil Webb. And then it was Alan Robinson in 16th place, the last of the finishers, with 3 non-finishers as well. So we'll have another race for the FreakyParts Sports Specials Championship a little bit later on. We've got 2 more races to come up before the lunch break as well. We'll have the BMW Car Club Racing Championship in a moment, and then the Aim Shop Mazda 7s to round out this morning's action. Then 8 more races after lunch, with the opening round of the Radical Bike Sports Championship and the Race Part 750 Formula Championship and the Mini Enduro from the Calm All Porsche Trophy as well. Then we go back to our series of 5 sprint races that we'll have already seen once throughout the day. So cars heading down into pit lane at the end of that Sports Specials race. Very shortly indeed we'll have the cars being brought out onto the circuit for the BMW Car Club Racing Championship as well. And we look forward to a good grid of the Bavarian Mark coming out onto circuit very shortly indeed for the first of their 2 races, opening 2 races of the season, of course, for all of the championships that we have here today, and a single race for the Carmel Porsche Trophy as well.
Yeah, 28 BMWs qualified this morning, so a very healthy way to start the season. A good mix of cars in the classes too, to look forward to in a few moments.
Absolutely right. So circuit just being cleared and checked. Obviously there was a couple of cars to recover, although they may have already been sort of brought into the infield there. For example, Stuart Mudge's car will likely have been dragged back into the paddock, having gone off at Redgate Corner.
Yeah, the other two cars we lost both came into the pit lane.
Yeah, so it shouldn't take too long to clear the pit lane. Let's head down to the pit lane now, and Yusuf bin Sahel is there to talk to the winning drivers.
Well, I'm here with our Class A winner, Andy Hiley. Andy, well, there's a bit of a demonstration out there for you.
Well, I wouldn't say that. You can always fall off even when you're well in front, so you've always got to keep concentrating. But yeah, it went how I intended it to go, but you never know, do you?
Yeah, we saw a couple of spins, a few cars in the gravel.
Yeah.
For you, when you are, at the front, you've got a big gap. How do you play it? Do you keep on pushing, or do you just say, I'll take a chill pill?
You got to be careful in the wet. If you take a chill pill, you lose your concentration and you sometimes underbrake and end up sliding straight off.
Well, either way, fantastic race win. What's the plan for the next race? Conditions probably going to be similar to what it is now.
We'll try and repeat it, but we never know, do we?
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again on the race win.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Right, we'll move on straight to Class C. Mikey Scott, you look very happy coming out of the car.
I am. I started 18th, had a mechanical failure in qualifying, so I sort of limped around just to get my laps in. And I thought, well, I'll see how I go on the start. If I can get a good start and I can keep up behind Stu, there's always a chance he'll have an off, and he had an off. So I'll take it. It's a win.
So, with yourself having that issue in qualifying, how is it then going into the race with a little bit less practice in those wet conditions?
Well, the wet conditions level the field for everybody anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And to be honest, it's different even from qualifying. So, but I've driven around there that many times now, and the tyres do work on these cars. Don't work on all cars, but they do work on these cars. It's just when I saw him go off, I thought I can't see the other guys behind me. I thought I'd just back off, take the points. The win's a win.
Well, it did get a little bit close at the end. Well, not incredibly close, 10 seconds between the top three. What is the plan for the next race?
If it's a dry one, set the car up for dry, and just, again, I'm at the back, I think, so we just send it and see what happens. Dry's a lot more forgiving. So this is just a bit more skill. So just what it is. But no, it was a good race. I enjoyed it. First one of the year.
Well, cracking job, Mikey, and I hope that we get to catch you after the next race.
Thank you.
Right, we're going to quickly get on with our final interview because the green flag lap is about to start for our next race. Neil Turner, good job on the win.
Oh, absolutely fantastic. It's been a really difficult few months with the car, getting it back together, lots of help, lots of friends helping, which has been great, which is just the spirit of the 750 Club, and I couldn't ask for a better race. Yeah, brilliant.
I think the main thing I kind of noticed with this rain is you really got to mix it up with a lot of the Class A drivers as a result.
Oh, yeah, it's great fun, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic, yeah. At the end, though, they're just so fast. It's really difficult, but if you could just change the circuit for the second race and make it a little bit more twisty, that would be great.
Well, we could try our best, but congratulations again on the race of the class win.
Oh, thanks very much. Awesome.
And with that, we're going to be throwing over to a quick ad break. Stay tuned. We've got our second race of the day coming up shortly.